Hey guys, I'm Paper Sack. Welcome to something new today. I don't really know how to start this video off because I've never done anything like this, but we're going to be reviewing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Now, the Pokemon franchise just in a whole is something that I really, really enjoy, and I personally own every Pokemon game that they've made. So, this new one that came out had, left me a little questioned when it was first announced, and after playing the game, I think all of my questions have been answered, and I think a lot of you guys, once you play it, you'll realize that, hey, it's not as bad as we thought. The gameplay you see in the background is not mine. I will leave credit to whomever I use in the description below. If I get copyright struck, then it wouldn't be the first time. One of the big questions starting off with that I've heard a lot of people ask is the catching Pokemon and the no wild battles. And that was kind of a big thing. People wanted to be able to battle wild Pokemon. They wanted to be able to weaken it or gain experience from it. Well, the way that the experience in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee works is you might gain 100 to 200 experience off of a battle, but you gain like 400 to 600 off of actually catching the Pokemon. And it actually balances out really well. I never found myself under-leveled, and I never found myself surprisingly over-leveled either. It kind of all just balanced out like a normal Pokemon game would. That being said, Pokemon like Snorlax, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Mewtwo, all the legendaries, and as well as, like I said, Snorlax, when you encounter those in the wild, you do have to battle them. You have to battle them to calm them down. So there are wild battles. It's just not every single Pokemon. It's just the legendary birds, Mewtwo, and Snorlax as far as I've encountered. One of my blunders was when I started the game, I named my rival Blue because I like to keep in the spirit of things, but that was a mistake because you encounter either red or blue before the game is ended. So it was weird for me because I was going between talking to Blue, and I never knew which one it was actually talking about. But it's kind of just funny. And if you guys didn't read the message at the beginning of the video, there are spoilers in this. Before I continue at all, if you haven't played the game, stop watching, don't watch. There are a lot of spoilers in this video because this is a complete rundown to Let's Go Pokemon, and I just want you guys to be prepared. So, at the end of Let's Go Pikachu, I'm just going to jump to the end. After you've defeated the Elite Four, after you've become champion, you go to the Cerulean Cave to try to, capture Mewtwo. Well, after you capture Mewtwo, there's this girl who you meet, which I thought was amazingly done by Game Freak. They added in Green, the girl from, the Pokemon Origins and, the manga. They added her into the game and made her super strong, and you actually have to battle her. I found myself really struggling to battle her. I didn't lose. That's one thing a lot of people are saying is the game's too easy. I don't think the game is necessarily too easy. I just think we as a community have gotten better at Pokemon, and so I didn't find myself losing at any of the trainer battles or any of the gym leaders or any of the anythings. I never lost a battle during the game, which is pretty consistent. During my Pokemon Platinum run through, I never lost a single battle on there either. And people were saying that that's one of the hardest Pokemon games that they've played. So, I don't think the game has gotten any easier. I think we as a community have gotten better. One thing that it did really well as far as was candies is, you get Pikachu candies throughout the game, and you get Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur candies by sending in so many of those Pokemon to the professor. And the candies don't level up your Pokemon, so they're not like rare candies. You give them to your Pokemon and it boosts their stats. So you'll get +1 to speed, attack, special defense, all of that stuff. So it's really, really, really useful. And during the older Pokemon games, you used to have to buy 5 different special attack up, special defense, stuff like that just to boost it. But with this one, you just have that one candy to use all of them. Catching all 151 Pokemon in this game is super, super easy, which I find really, really, really good because I struggled to complete the Pokedex in all of the other games because it was just me and my brother, and there'd be sometimes 3 different versions of a game. And I know that there's only 2 different versions that can make up all the Pokemon. Okay, I get it, but me and my brother didn't have one of the link cables for our Game Boys, so we couldn't trade. So we would both just have half a Pokedex completed, and it would be really, really annoying. But with this one, with the integration of Pokemon Go, so you can sync up your phone to your Nintendo Switch and go through the Go Park, and you can transfer Pokemon you don't have in Pokemon Let's Go over from Pokemon Go and recapture them in the Go Park, which really, really helps with completing the Pokedex because there are some version exclusives. I think Meowth is a version exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. but you can catch that easily in Pokemon Go and then transfer it over. Also, there is a trainer who will trade you well, not really trade you, but once you catch like 5 either Meowths or a Growlithe, they will give you an Arcanine or a Persian. So I got a Persian just that way and just hatched it with a Ditto. There is a daycare system. Before I get ahead of myself, there is a daycare system, which was the main question a lot of people were asking, was would there be a Pokemon daycare? Because there wasn't a Pokemon daycare in Pokemon Yellow, Blue, and Red. But there is a Pokemon daycare in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. It is south of Cerulean City, so you go down through there and there's a daycare center where you can place your Ditto and any other Pokemon you want, and you can actually hatch eggs, which is really, really cool because, you know, that's an easier way to complete the Pokedex as well. That's also how I got my Meowth. But one thing that I really, really found awesome about this was you can catch a Dragonite in the wild. Now, a lot of you people aren't going to like that. Dragonite's this like super rare Pokemon that you just shouldn't be able to catch, and I understand that. But it was awesome to me to have completed the game, running around on the ground and seeing the outline of a Dragonite flying over my head. That was one of the coolest things I've witnessed. And then I just hopped on the back of my Charizard, flew up there and caught it. Charizard, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle are given to you throughout the game after completing certain prerequisites, I guess. It's not like Pokemon Yellow where you can just run up to them and they just give it to you. On this one, you have to have caught, I believe it's 30 Pokemon, 50 Pokemon, and then 60 Pokemon. And that's different Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. So, after you do that, you will receive Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander. But if you don't want to do that, all 3 starters are catchable in-game, which I thought was amazing because it's just like it was in the anime and the manga. It wasn't just like, you get this one Pokemon, this is the only Pokemon in the region, you're the only one that can be able to have it. And it's not catchable. See, that's not like true to Pokemon, because you've seen even in the anime there was a herd of wild Squirtle, the Squirtle Squad. But in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you can catch them in the wild. They are rare to find. You can find Bulbasaur in Viridian Forest. You can find Charizard in, I think it's Mount Moon or Rock Tunnel. One of those two. And I completely forget where to catch Squirtle. But you can catch those there. You can also catch a wild Dratini. And you can catch a Dragonair, which is really cool. Those are hard. Kangaskhan is one of the hardest Pokemons I've ever had to catch. In Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, it took me a solid like 2 days just to find a wild encounter with that thing. It is crazy. But and the game, like, when you go to battle Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave, it's not easy. Like, let me repeat that. It is not easy. Be completely prepared to battle Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave. That is one of the hardest battles I've ever done. Mewtwo was harder than the Elite Four. And that's how it should be. That's how it was in the anime, that's how it was in Pokemon Origins, that's how it should be. Mewtwo was super overpowered. But when you actually catch Mewtwo, not as overpowered anymore. I noticed that when I used Mewtwo against Green, it wasn't as overpowered. And it really balanced out really, really well. Let me think if there are some more questions I heard of people having. As far as the day and night cycle goes, I played a lot. I don't believe there is a day and night cycle. I could be completely wrong about that and just not been paying attention, but I really don't believe there is. That really didn't affect anything about how I experienced the game. Just to each their own, I guess. In Lavender Town, they didn't change the music, which is really, really good. I was hoping they would stick to their guns and just play the Lavender Town song, which they really did. And it was a good surprise walking into Lavender Town and hearing the Lavender Town song, which a lot of you know if you're watching this, that the conspiracy revolving that way back in Pokemon Blue and Red and Green. The developers did something sneaky in this game, but I mean, not really sneaky, but they put themselves in the Silphco. So if you go into the Silphco, you can actually talk to the developers, the graphic artists, and everything like that. And when you talk to the developers after catching 151 of Pokemon, he gives you the Shiny Charm, which means you can go out and catch shiny Pokemon. Now, I tried this on my own before I got the Shiny Charm. I caught 31 Paris. I was going to try to catch a wild Shiny Paris because I thought that'd be one of the easier ones besides Rattata and Zubat. But, unfortunately, I tried for a very long time, did not have any luck with it. So it is still really hard. It's not just something that's going to happen. If you watch the trailer, there was a Shiny Weedle pop up, which is really cool, but none of them seen it, which is hilarious if you ask me. They missed their chance at catching a Shiny Weedle. As far as leveling up and evolving in this game, it's stuck to the mainstream Pokemon games where Squirtle evolves first at, I think it's 16, then again at 32, if I'm not mistaken. Same with Charizard and Bulbasaur. But I know that those are different, okay? I know the levels for those to evolve are different. I'm just giving you an example. You can't evolve well, actually, I read online that you could not evolve your starter. And then when I played through my game, it gave me the option to evolve Pikachu into Raichu, but I didn't try it. So I don't know if it would just like not work, but I know I didn't try it. And I know that your rival trainer, his Eevee evolves, it does evolve, like mine evolved into Jolteon. So he like battled me with a Jolteon. And so I know he can evolve his starter. I don't know if you're allowed to or not though. So just however that works. Another really cool feature was the Pokeball Plus. A lot of people hated that it was $50 and it's as much as the game, which is understandable, but it is kind of expensive. But it's a better version of the Pokewalker, which everyone loved from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Me personally, I remember sending Pokemon to that, going to school, and then playing with my friends. Cece, did you want to get in the video? Okay, go. Shoo. Shoo. Okay, she's going to be... Anyway, I remember taking my Pokewalker to school, and me and my friends would like walk through the paths, you know, find random Pokemon, get items, and all that kind of stuff. And it was a lot of fun. Then when you get back home, you can just send your Pokemon back through the Pokemon Transfer on the Nintendo DS and be playing with them on Heart Gold and Soul Silver again. And that was really cool. And the way the Pokewalker works, or not the Pokewalker, but the Pokemon Go Plus, is you can send a Pokemon to the Pokemon Go Plus, and you can take it out as well. And if you mash the button, you can actually play with your Pokemon, which gives you more experience and all that kind of stuff. And it also acts, if you sync it up with your Pokemon Go app, it acts as a the Pokemon Go bracelets that everybody has. Let's see. This thing, it acts like this, but instead it's just the Pokeball, and you can just click the button to catch wild Pokemon. And it's really, really cool, and it counts your steps, and when you transfer the Pokemon back to your Switch, it like has leveled up, depending on how many steps you've taken, how often you've played with it, and stuff like that. And it's really cool. It's a really good way of you know, interacting with the Pokemon. Something this game did extremely well, as far as like better than any other Pokemon game that I've played so far, is allowing me to bond with my Pokemon. Like, that sounds really cheesy and really corny, but like you personally feel a bond with your starting Pokemon as well as your party as you're playing through it. Like, I know Pikachu, every time something would happen, there'd be an interaction between me and Pikachu where I could just see his reaction, I could see how he's taking it, and he would find gifts for me. It would be stuff like during battle, if your Pokemon was poisoned, it could expel the poison because it didn't want you to worry, or it woke itself up so you wouldn't worry, or it clung on to 1 HP just to prove itself to you, or it would land a critical hit just wanting to be praised. It was just stuff that made the game really fluid, and it really like made you bond with your Pokemon, and it turned everything into a really, really good experience. It wasn't like going through Pokemon Yellow, Blue, and Red where I just got tired of it and I would swap Pokemon out between boxes, which the box system in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is something all on its own. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved how it was just right in your backpack, and you could just open it up, the Pokemon box, and you could scroll through your Pokemon that way, and you could change it wherever you wanted to, whenever you wanted to. It was really, really good. A lot of questions people had was the gym qualifications. That was something that I met super, super easy, and I never had to go out and look for it, and it just pertained to my party anyway, so I never had to really rearrange my party at all, because I caught a Bulbasaur in Viridian Forest. So I took my Bulbasaur and I went and battled Brock in Pewter City. So it really just kind of balanced out because all you had to have was a grass or a water type, and I just caught a Bulbasaur. So it really like evened itself out. Also, Pikachu's double kick really came in handy because when I battled Brock with Pikachu, I could just take out his Pokemon using my Pikachu and not have to use my Bulbasaur. And Bulbasaur still gained experience from that. It was like one big experience share the entire time, and it was really, really good. So I think that's all the time I have today to answer questions about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I think I covered everything fully. If you guys have any questions, like any other questions about the game, please leave them down in the comments below and I can respond to you. I have played through the game. I have completely finished it. I know I can answer any of your guys' questions if need be. Please leave them down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Bye!